So Netflix spent over $400 million on the Knives Out franchise. Huh? Chase Leaki here with the Blue Futon, and we are reviewing Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. What's about? Very simple premise, actually. You have a bunch of people going to an island to solve a murder mystery, but unfortunately, someone is actually murdered, and we gotta figure out who done it. All right, so with these Knives Out movies, okay, Rian Johnson directs it. You have an all-star cast. You can't go wrong there. The first movie, I saw the killer in the first 15 minutes. Here, I saw who the killer was in the first 15 minutes as well. This is a problem with Rian Johnson in these movies that think you're smarter than the audience. All you gotta do is literally watch the fucking movie and go, okay, there's that in the background. Okay, that character just did that. I know for a fact Rian Johnson doesn't like talking about these characters, even though he's part of this club. So of course that person's the killer. And it was fucking too easy. Yes, there are twists and turns like, oh, I didn't see that person have something to deal with that person. But, the whole side plot stuff where you're like, okay, I understand that. But there is enough dialogue in the first, okay, maybe the first 15 minutes isn't there because the first 15 minutes we're talking about this box and who these Kate Hudson character is, Bautista character, Kathryn Hahn's character, Leslie Odom Jr.'s character, who they are. So you're like, okay, I get to understand who these characters are. But then when we get to the island and when you actually have these characters connect and actually talk to each other, you're like, that's the killer. Period. Dot. Like, there is no other option. And you know what? I was correct. So before I go into the negatives, let's talk about the positives. I think the production design and the acting is well done. I think Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Kathryn Hahn, like I said, everyone else, Kate Hudson, Ethan Hawke, even though Ethan Hawke should have a better role in this movie, but I digress. Daniel Craig. You have like Jeremy Renner making a hot sauce appearance. Then you have other weird, want to call it cameos, where you're like, okay, like Hugh Grant. So you're okay, some cool cameos in this show that go along. Didn't it be over 2 hours and 20 minutes? Oh, what? Janelle Monáe is in it. Didn't it be 2 hours and 20 minutes? Sure, why not? But just the movie itself feels like Rian Johnson doesn't like billionaires, doesn't like these type of people, so he's going to make fun of these types of people, even though, like I said, he got paid a shit ton of fucking money to become this. I know he's like, oh, I'm anti. There's like the whole anti-capitalist kind of thing he does with his movies and other directors do in Hollywood does, which fucking infuriates me because it's like, if you're anti-capitalist, but you're like, oh, Netflix, okay, I'll take that $100 million paycheck. You're a fucking hypocrite and have double standards. And that's what I completely hate about Hollywood. If I had to put one thing that I completely hate about these people is no shit. They're like, capitalism sucks. But they suck the teat off of it like a motherfucking just golden teat. So I'm like, yeah, you love it. Fuck off. Like, I know for a fact Mark Ruffalo does it. He's like, dude, your net worth's like $12 million or something like that. Be a Keanu Reeves then. Donate 70% of your paycheck. Do it. Do it. So when I look at the movie itself and how it's filmed, I think it's great looking. I do think going to Greece is a fantastic thing. But like I said, this leads to the negatives of the overall writing and knowing Rian Johnson's attitude against some of these people that you know for a fact is going to happen. Plus, when you think about, okay, you know someone's going to get murdered, right? And let's think about this really, really quickly. There's no way these people are friends. Let's put it that way. You have a person who's a video gamer Twitch person. You have a Congress lady. You have a scientist. You have a billionaire. You have a person that is a fashion, if you put it that way. Then you have a publicist. Then you have, the Twitch gamer, which is Drax, Dave Bautista's girlfriend called Whiskey. Then you just have all these characters combined where you're like, there's no way all these people are friends. And then Janelle Monáe's character, which you're just like, there's no way these people are connected. I just have a hard time believing it. And then when you look at what they do, like I said, you have a congressman, you have a high-profile scientist, you have a billionaire, you have a Twitch streamer, then you have other people. You're like, when you just think about that, you go, I know who's going to die. You just think Just have a small brain cell and say, you know what, that makes sense for that person going to die. And there is such a shot in the film that if you don't see it, I don't want to say you're dumb, but you don't watch a lot of movies because it was like so in plain sight of like, yeah, that's the reason why that person's the killer. Like, it was so easy. Even, at least with the first one, you had to think of like, okay, that person said he instead of she. That person said this and this. This was literally something in the background. You go, yep, that person's a killer. Period. Dot. End of question. So I think that was the issue with this movie. I was like, yeah, I enjoyed what I was watching on screen, but it wasn't no like, oh my God, that was the killer. And let's be honest, the very end with an explosion with hydrogen cells, put it that way, how did no one die? Like, seriously, that fucking thing just got sucked up to the vents of the house, exploded, and everyone's just like, hey, I'm okay. Like I said, it's one of those films where you know exactly what's going to happen if you watch any movie like this. You can tell I can barely breathe right now. Something is in my nose, and it might be into the sickness. Overall, Glass Onion, Knives Out Mystery, it's a fine film. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, it might look fantastic. It might have some comedic moments to it. But when you go down and you peel back the onion and get to the center of it, just think, just have a brain cell and think, yeah, that person's not dying because that would be huge consequences in the real world. That person's not, because we know for a fact Hollywood hates Elon Musk and billionaires, even though a lot of them are quadrillionaires and billionaires and millionaires. So, yeah. So, Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery will receive a 2.5 out of 5 Futons, which goes at 50%. I know for a fact I'm going to be the one that is going to be the ones that don't really like it. But who just texted me? My mommy did! So, let's check what Rotten Tomato did. So you have critics a 93%, not surprised. Audience score 93%, not really surprised. 500 audience, 317 critics. Critic consensus. Glass Onion Knives Out Mystery brings back Bonnet Blanc for another wildly entertaining mystery rounded by an outstanding ensemble cast. Sure, why not? But when you have a script like this where I understand he's poking fun at people, I understand. But the overall message of, oh, billionaires are bad, they're all douches, but yet they all work for them. Like, the double standards, I just don't understand, and I hate. 9350, Chase Hawke with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Futonatopia, you Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day. Next Netflix movie is White Noise. So before I do my big list, I still got a couple more movies to watch at the end of this year.